557.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage, where Zach exists.
Zach does exist, that is accurate.
Okie dokie. Let's play some D&D. Kick things off with a little bit of a recap. So, previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves with their allies, the Skull Takers, on the Sargoth level of Undermountain, intent on heading further down into the dungeon to the Twisted Caverns. They journeyed through familiar territory as respected allies of the Legion of Ezrah, and shortly found themselves winding downward towards the unknown. After some time, they found their way to a fungal wonderland, a verdant cave of mushrooms, moss, flowers, and rich soil. The farms. Their entry into this place, however, was halted as the figure of Halaster Blackcloak appeared, congratulating them on making it this far, though scolding them for the time it took them to do so. The party conversed with Halaster briefly, seeking to gain knowledge about his apparent interest in them, but the Mad Mage's responses were cryptic or nonsensical. After a short time, he wandered away, apparently realizing that he had missed lunch. The party began to explore the caverns cautiously, noting the many winding passageways while they headed eastward. They eventually happened upon what appeared to be a shop, and within, an individual known as the Alchemist. The Alchemist provided some much-needed information about the Twisted Caverns, and some of its residents, including Jibberjabber, the Etten, the Aboleth, a settlement of Kuatoa, and a band of Drow. The Alchemist also provided some interesting potions to the party in exchange for gear, food, or the promise of interesting gemstones. Taking the information in hand, the party set out to explore further, happening upon a crossroads in the tunnels filled with stalagmites. But things were not as they seemed. As the party cast eyes upon the uneven floor, they noticed bones, destroyed armor, and a smattering of coins just before two of the stalagmites came alive and attacked. Ropers. Ambush predators with multiple grasping tentacles and horrible gaping maws filled with razor-sharp teeth. Fighting the Ropers was difficult at first. The ambush allowed the creatures to wrap up bones, Matashtai, and ashes with their tentacles, binding and restraining them. At the same time, the creatures didn't seem all that interested in working together, attempting to reel in each other's prey for a quick bite. Fortunately, the party was able to extricate themselves, surround the southernmost roper, and slay it before turning to the second. The creature, realizing its ambush had turned south, also knew it had no means to flee, and fought to the last. In the battle, Bones had accidentally lost his dagger Gore in the belly of one of the beasts. In retrieving it, he found a gemstone and surmised that the second creature might also be harboring treasure in its gullet. The work was gruesome, but proved rewarding, as Bones found several more gemstones in the second beast. Injured and tired, the party decided to rest momentarily, using Ezrah's new ability to create an impervious dome for safety. This wasn't a completely perfect solution, however, as while they were resting, a band of Quaggoths stumbled upon the dome. Fortunately, the Quaggoth proved too simple-minded and moreover too lazy to investigate, but the party realized that this might not be a perfect solution in every case. From here, the party ventured northward, where they found a cavern filled with dim glowing luminescent moss, as well as a dark-skinned human woman, who looked a little haggard and had with her a giant toad. After a bit of a scare involving ashes, the woman introduced herself as Darabeth and the toad as Tiha. Darabeth was on her way back to the surface, but had been chased repeatedly by demons. She had been wounded and was hiding out in this cave while she recovered. Matashtai offered to assist Darabeth while Bones harvested some fungi, but Darabeth politely declined. The party now continues their exploration southward. So, go ahead and jump over to the map.
Jump.
And get some music.
The
Going?
assailant just said they're gonna jump.
Did you just jump over there, Mitch?
No. What are you talking about?
As you do.
Okay. So you guys should follow the pings. Your characters.
Actually, it brought me back exactly where we were.
Nice.
Did
Holy
they finally
shit.
update it?
No, they
In the
didn't.
fucking darkness.
Also, as proof. E.T. Bits.
He's kidding.
Okay.
All right, that's one pet redeemed.
No. Here is one pet redeemed.
I paid.
That
for
is a pet.
4 pets.
That is another pet. That is a third
We're
pet.
paying
those are not
Jeremy
pets.
to
That is a fourth
fucking
pet.
pet his cat now. I'm gonna kill myself.
Really? This is the straw that breaks the camel's back, or
This
in
is the
case,
straw.
Zach's back?
Yeah, this is it. This is the straw.
All right.
That's cool.
So
We just need Zach had a week back.
It is what it is.
what is the plan, Stan?
Well, we're gonna leave this dead end.
Is
Okay,
it a
yeah.
dead end? No
So
one
you
ever
guys,
told me it was or was not.
So from Darabeth's cavern, you headed eastward, right, before finding yourself at a cave-in, basically. The tunnel before you abruptly halts, filled with debris and an evident collapse. So now where to?
Down.
Okay.
We head to the south.
All right. So party reconvenes and begins heading southwards. You find pretty quickly, right, that as you reach this kind of intersection, the Twisted Caverns is aptly named because there are so many forks and winding tunnels, but you can see quite obviously that this tunnel just leads back north into Darabeth's cavern.
Indeed.
Also, if you have not referenced it yet, you should have access to the big new map for the Twisted Caverns.
I have. Is it going to update dynamically?
It is not
As
going
we
to update
explore.
dynamically, no. Sorry, I haven't mastered the technology of having someone else edit this in Photoshop and constantly upload it for you while we're playing.
Jay.
While we're playing.
Wow, Zach.
Go fuck yourself.
Wow.
This is his specialty. Fuck off.
That's Jay's specialty? All right, Jay.
Yeah, it's called just-in-time edits.
Just-in-time edits. Actually, that kind of is Jay's specialty, truth be told. All right, so you head southwards a little ways. You find that there's a tunnel leading back northwest towards Darabeth's cavern. You come to an intersection. There is a tunnel heading southwest, and then a tunnel heading southeast.
I choose left.
Okay.
I discuss with no one.
It takes you but a few minutes traveling through the winding, cramped tunnel to realize
yes,
that
I recognize this area. Oh,
you
moved
have
me
come back
Okay.
to the previous crossroads where the ropers had been. Now, in your immediate vicinity, there is another passageway south, and then there was the passage back to the southeast from where you had come. Your passive perception is like 18, right?
Indeed, it is.
You can hear to the south from you. You can hear grumbling and grunting, a very it's not loud, right? But you hear these very gruff voices not very far to the south of you. There's obviously a group of humanoids there that are kind of like grumbling at one another, but they seem stationary. They're not moving.
I look at the party. I go. I rub my tummy. Let's see. To convey that message.
Eat them?
No, Jesus Christ. There's unhappy motherfuckers down there. I don't understand. How we've been together like more than 2 months, Matt.
You were like, huh, huh, and then rubbed your belly. What?
Yeah. Hulking guys down there, unhappy, grumbling.
In the meantime, an assassin steps up behind Ezra and stabs him in the throat.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Ezra.
You guys hear anything? Did y'all hear
Nope.
that?
He's literally out of eyesight of all of you.
Is it Jonathan Lampwick? That's who Ezra's assassin is.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
you find yourselves kind of like in this brief moment. Bones has heard something to the south. You guys want to investigate, or do you want to head a different direction and there? What's your plan?
Well, I mean, I feel like we can safely assume that's the Quaggoth that we saw earlier.
Well, I
Okay.
conveyed.
So,
Other direction.
murder
Oh, you want to murder him? Okay.
I said I don't think we need to murder them.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You head back towards the east.
Did someone say the N-word?
You head back towards the east. As you travel back and forth, and you have these kind of like very quiet conversations with each other, right? The sound in this place kind of plays tricks on you, right? Where you were, Bones, you could very clearly hear the Quaggoth. And after Bones had pointed it out, the rest of you could kind of hear the muddled voices as well. Not 5-10 feet back eastward from where you were, the voices are suddenly gone entirely. Like, there's not even a whisper of them anymore. But now you can hear these kind of like, these little...
Toads. Matt has a jihad against toads, right?
What?
Weren't
I
you asking
don't
about
think
toads
so.
to kill? Oh, well, I misunderstood
No.
that. Sorry.
Not at all.
What? What?
I'll be honest, I'm in my own world most of the time.
So it's just,
I turn to Ashes and Ezra and I say, I think Bones has early onset dementia.
It's possible. Or
I mean, I
who
think-
knows, right? Is it early at this point? You know?
Yes,
Maybe
we
I'm
don't
just a
actually know
cat.
how old
Yeah, I
Bones
mean,
is.
if
Cats
he's a
only give a
cat-
shit about themselves.
Well, I was gonna say more along the lines of maybe he only, lives like 16 years and he's like 13 already.
Hey, old ass cat.
I don't know. I don't remember how old. I think I put myself as relatively young, but I could be. I don't know. Oh no. Okay, I'll leave then.
Okay. So I'm assuming you guys just head back to this direction in order to head back south. So you follow the winding tunnel. The croaks of the toad leave you behind.
I'm on high alert. High alert after ropers.
He is on
Okay.
the highest level.
And so you do kind of like wonder. You round this bend and you can see ahead of you this cavernous area begin to open up, and you see a series of stalagmites, right? Rather large stalagmites, kind of like drooping down towards the floor of the cavern.
Can ropers be mites or only tights? Well, if they're drooping down, they would be tights, Jeremy, not mites. So
Sorry, yeah, they are stalactites. I apologize. Thought I said that, but my bad.
I ready the water skin.
Okay.
'Cause I
you
have
do
no
see-
idea.
Is that your throwing skin?
Yeah.
You do see kind of as you're kind of like surveying the area and being like really cautious about this. You do see that same almost kind of pattern back at the crossroads with the uneven ground here.
Oh yeah, this is an ambush for sure. I toss my water skin. And
Oh no, the cork fell out.
Kind of bobbles and flops around, makes a bunch of noise,
All right, it's probably safe. Ashes, go ahead.
All right.
and nothing seems to happen.
I'll move up with Ashes.
Okay.
Why are there a bunch of sunny side up eggs in here?
I would
Those
like
are
to poke each of these stalag
tights.
tights. I want
Yeah.
to poke
They're
each of them
stalactites.
with my spear.
Stalactites hold tightly to the floor.
Ceiling.
Tightly to the floor.
Yeah, no,
Tights are on the top.
yeah. Tights are on the top, right.
Tights are on the top. That's the easy, like the whole hold tightly thing. Just
Yeah.
tights are on the
on
top.
Tights on top. Got it.
The only reason I'm having difficulty
Tight, tight,
is
tight.
because I can never remember which symbol is the tights symbol and which symbol is the mites symbol.
Well, now we know
Use a
tights are
fucking
eggs.
T and an M.
Tights are eggs. Tights are eggs. Tights are eggs.
Egg.
Mites are popcorn.
Popcorn?
You could
Okay.
argue these are either one. Irregular avocados.
Irregular
Avocados?
avocado.
What?
Yeah, that one's a fucking. That's an avocado for.
Yeah, the
sure.
middle one is avocado as shit.
It's just a really, really, really oval egg.
Nah, that's an avocado.
It's an egg in the shape of an egg.
Okay, well.
Sediment-shaped sediments.
see what
Sediment
we
shaped
want.
sediments.
I retrieve my water.
So
skin.
this area, right, is
Hope I'm not
the
dead.
walls here are kind of slick. A little more slick than the walls, the areas that you have traveled through. This whole place is kind of damp. It has a humidity factor, right? But the walls here are actively kind of slick, and you can see there's little patches of kind of like a green tinge, almost like an algae or something like that. That's kind of like growing over the side of small portions of the wall here.
Okay.
You see there is an exit directly to the south, and then two exits to the southeast. One that seems to head eastward, and one that heads southeastward.
I leave southly because no one has an opinion.
I'd like
Yeah.
to go east. No.
All right.
We
As
split the party.
well, so partially. So hold up for a second.
I have held up. I still.
So
Back there.
Matashtai, as you kind of get a little bit closer over to the eastern side, I'm gonna move everyone slightly back, just so that you guys
Okay.
aren't as spread out. Matashtai, as you kind of get a little bit closer to that eastern side, your light carries a bit, and you hear a voice call out from the southeast. It calls out. It says, in Undercommon. Says, halt! State your business.
Drow. You can hear the
Who's
haughtiness in his
asking?
tone.
We head to the prancing pony. Our business is our own.
My name is Balrin. You trespass the territory of House Alvrendir.
Y'all should probably put some signs up.
There's been difficulty. Many monsters abound. This is why we announce with words instead of quarrels.
Well, I appreciate that. Which way is the lands of House Avrandar?
Follow the sound of my voice. To the southeast.
All right. Well, we won't go that way then.
You do not seek to treaty.
Well, I mean, you kind of sounded like you wanted me to not be in your land.
We did not say flee, be gone, intruders. We said halt and state your purpose.
Matt, ask him how many are from the 3rd floor.
That's fair. What?
Ask him how many have been to the 3rd or were from the 3rd floor.
That's the group of Drow we killed on the 3rd floor.
That's the group of Drow we killed. They're priestess.
That seems like a terrible thing to ask.
Well, yeah, because if there's some there from the 3rd floor, we don't want to go there. Because they might recognize us.
Sorry, just a minute. I'm stroking out.
I'm stroking out. Do you require aid? Are you ill?
No, it goes away real quick.
Got COVID-19.
Bring that shit in here.
Social distance.
Should we go say hi? Let's go say hi.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sure, we'll come treaty.
Man, I guess if they attack us, I'm fine because I want their priestess hard anyway.
Bones the butcher.
I'll walk down here.
It's not for my benefit.
All right. So you begin to walk kind of into this scenario. As you do, I will tell you what you are greeted by. You feel, as you're kind of walking into this hallway, right? You do see a line of drow, but you feel a cold chill kind of run up your spine. And for a moment, all of you kind of like look back over your shoulder because it feels like something else is watching you.
All right.
But awaiting you in the center of a pretty immense cavern is this ridge of natural rock around which there are small gardens of cask-shaped and flesh-shelved fungi. There are stacks of supplies here or there along the walls. A little campfire area with a small iron pot sitting on top of like a little fire ring, basically, over in one alcove. And you can see there's a line of drow before you. And they're all at the ready. All of them are up. None of them have weapons bared, right? But you can see beyond this immediate cavern, there are other caverns nearby that you can see. One to the east and then one to the southeast. And there are drow in both of those caves as well that are up, and they're not heading your way necessarily, right? But they're looking in your direction. They're listening to what is happening at this moment. So as you kind of like all file in, this one kind of like pushes to the front, says, very interesting group of fellows you have here. Come, do not be shy. We have no wish for hostilities. We have enough enemies here already.
Where the fuck is Ezrah?
You there in the back!
Oh, there you are. Found him.
He's actually back on level 3 now.
I forgot to grab my most precious book.
So this drow, and you kind of you've come to recognize most of the structure of the drow tend to be very similar, right? So you recognize that this Balrin, right, who's speaking to you, is garbed as an elite warrior, right? And is basically taking command of the other drow. But as he steps forward to kind of speak with you, he turns and he looks to this northeast cave, and you can see a robed man standing there. and behind him, a woman in white.
Oh.
Okay.
Good.
And he
good,
What
good.
house are they from again?
The
Avrendir.
ones we just killed on 3.
Oh, they are from the same
House Avrendar, yeah.
That's the same clan. That doesn't mean these are.
So it's clear that this elite warrior is kind of like looking over towards these two individuals to see if they're going to take control of the situation, but neither of them steps forward or says anything. They just kind of stand there and watch him passively. So the elite warrior kind of like nods and he says, "You have a look about you, sirs. I fear I must re-ask my previous question. What is your purpose here?"
Exploring.
Venturing.
Adventurers. That is good. You've come from above, yes?
Yeah, we sure have.
we have.
Yep.
That's us. Yep.
It's been
2 weeks.
Since you looked at me.
it's been
I almost did it again.
I just stopped myself,
it's been a rough time of late, as we have heard.
Yeah?
Quite a bit of activity on the level above. Many
Yeah.
fights, much dying.
Yeah,
Well,
we sure
yeah,
have.
we wouldn't
pretty big
we wouldn't
battle
know
up there.
much about that.
There was a time, not
Just
long
said 2 different
back,
things.
when the river ran red and many bodies, or what was left of them, washed down it. Quite a few of
No.
our brethren, in fact, were among those slain.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Only, and he kind of looks over at the mage, right, the man in robes, and again, right, there's no response. There's not even like a tilt of the head for any indication. So this elite warrior just kind of says, "But not all of our brethren upon the 3rd floor perished. No,
Great.
some of them survived, and in fact they made their way down here. We hosted them for a time before they continued on back to our homelands. They told us many interesting stories, particularly
Lord.
about the 4 individuals that
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
faced off against them.
Ah, well, that's interesting, because there's 5 of us. We just left one a ways back.
This,
Calls himself the
he
Alchemist.
raises
He's
he
really
raises a hand.
weird.
He raises a hand and he says, "Do not misunderstand me. We still have no interest in fighting. Your prior exploits have, in fact, aided our mistress in some
So
of her
I can kind of
endeavors."
see her. Can I, like, turn over and see if it's
It was some
her
girl.
surviving sister?
It is not.
Okay.
She had a female consort. She didn't have no.
She
male,
looks
bro.
she bears a familial resemblance, right?
I mean, all drow. Just
Oh my god, don't say that.
Wow.
I didn't finish it.
Oh my goodness. But she obviously, like, she has many of the same insignias, and she has a similar facial structure, a similar bearing, right? That may or might not be indicative of the family house, or maybe that is just how drow aristocracy tends to be. But she is also very impassive about this whole exchange. She is looking in the general direction, and she's not moving, but she's actually kind of like resting against the side of a there's a small table in there, actually. Oh, no, she's actually right next to a brazier. So the elite warrior Baldwin steps forward and he says, "Come, let us be at ease. In fact, I think, if I may be so bold as to claim it, but we would rather much more be friends than enemies."
All right. I can appreciate that. Forgive us if it takes a bit to warm up after past experiences.
Forgive us if it takes a bit after you slaughtered our brethren.
Well, to be fair, they were very disagreeable.
Also, we didn't pick that fight.
Well, we will endeavor to be more agreeable and pick less fights.
And we will agree to slaughter less of your brethren.
What this wording is gonna get us in trouble. This is not.
There's
This is poor diplomacy.
the kind of like tense air doesn't really decrease with that
Bro,
statement.
if they know, they know. I mean, we might as well.
It's gonna.
Baldwin kind of looks around, right? And you see coming out of the southern room, you see another elite warrior.
Oh boy.
And you see one of the drow move south, kind of like out of eye shot. And Balrin says,
I'm assuming you want to talk to us for a reason.
"Yes, actually,
You get a job for us?
an interesting way of putting that. But I believe potentially. You see, we might be the only civilized creatures you really have discourse with upon this level. There are some other groups here that are, well, they tend to not be to surface dwellers' brand of civilized.
Right.
The Kuatoa. Have you met one of the fishmen before?
In
Can't
another
say I
life.
have.
Yeah, in another life.
They are altogether bizarre creatures. Nonsensical, crazed, driven to madness, an intense, bizarre nature in their minds. There was a large tribe of them here, amidst the farms. That is until a worse creature came upon them, not too terribly long ago. And you actually...
the aboleth. We're talking about the aboleth, right?
And nods. And he says, you are surprisingly informed. Yes. We speak of that creature. Truth be told, we would rid this place of both. The aboleth is a controller of minds. Disgusting creature. A creature not meant for this realm. But the Kuatoa are barely less repulsive. Cannibals, slavers, and insane. And far more
Slavers, you say?
numerous than the aboleth. What did you say?
I was just slavers, you say?
Ah, yes. All fishmen are.
A little reductionist, but okay.
I mean, it's very reductionist.
Take this at face value. I'm not trying to pick a fight, but aren't your folks known to keep slaves?
You see him kind of like tilt up his chin. He says, well
like
beneath the might of House Ovrindar. We have no use for slaves. They perform shoddy work. No, we seek allies, individuals or groups, who understand that they can thrive under our patronage. Probably would have said matronage.
I was gonna say. All right. Well, it's nice to hear, actually.
What's going on, Zach?
I'll show you.
Oh. Oh god, I saw that earlier. Well, like, what is he doing?
This fucking dog, dude. It's always fucking labs that do stupid shit like this.
He's just like horribly chewing on that log. It's great. All right.
Assistant
So I
branch
guess
manager.
to kind of get to the thick of it, looking to have us get rid of the aboleth and take care of any Kuatoa we see, or is there more to this?
Kind of looks over again towards the mage and the priestess, and he says, well, no, I think that actually about sums it up. I mean, honestly, we feel confident facing off against either or, but not either or while the other exists. Should we expend ourselves against the Kuatoa, the aboleth might sweep in and attempt something at that point. Should we target the aboleth, move him, then the Kuatoa might leap on us in their crazed frenzy. If you are able to remove one or both, by all means, you will have proven quite useful.
Well, I don't want to speak for the rest of the group, but that doesn't necessarily deviate from our plans as it is, so I don't see why we can't be friends.
Why can't we be friends?
Can we
Okay.
expect any kind of reward or support for assisting the House Avrendir?
Balrin, again, kind of like looks up, and it's probably at this point, right, that the individual in robes moves forward. Double check. So, I wish they had things like this all the time. The mage steps forward, and she is a she, unlike what the token represents.
I mean, really, it's a long-haired individual. It's
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's a very masculine face on the Drow mage token, you know?
You could have told me that was a lady drow, and I would not have disagreed.
Okay, well, she steps forward, and she kind of like raises a hand, or just flicks a hand in Balrin's general direction, and Balrin just kind of like steps back. And she steps forward and she says, "Assistance, no. If you are capable, or as capable as we have heard, then you should require no assistance. Compensation, yes, that can and should be arranged."
Are you looking something up or
He
waiting
just
for a
stops talking.
reply?
Yeah. You just stop talking.
Okay. Shall we arrange it then? I say less sarcastic than that sounded.
As rude as we are lucky that this didn't turn into a initiative roll.
I don't know if there's enough of them here, honestly.
I think
I
it
don't know
has
how-
the potential to go bad.
I'm
but
fairly sure there's more
Oh.
than that around the corner.
It cannot be worse than the last one. It cannot.
Say things. Zach, you always say things.
I sure do.
So the mage thinks for a moment, and then she turns around and starts walking back into the cave, and she says, "Fine. Let's arrange that." And like waves for you to follow her.
There's the tone. I follow.
As we're walking out, I turn to Pollard and I say, "Pleasure speaking with you."
Kind of like inclines his head. Okay. All right. So do you all file in? Okay. As you file in, yeah. So I will read a little bit of what you see around you. This
Trap
cave
flares.
contains a number of well-appointed furnishings, including 2 sleeping pallets, a large chest and desk, as well as a small shrine covered in spider iconography. A skewered, dark-skinned creature cooks over a spider-shaped bronze brazier filled with flaming coals. It's
Custom grill.
It looks like a little squid.
Little squid.
I say little squid. It's half the size of Bones.
He says squeeze.
So it's not exactly like little, but I mean little compared to like the concept of a squid, I guess.
Is it an illithid?
No, it's decidedly not humanoid.
Okay.
Is it just an illithid head?
It would be a very big, oddly shaped head with no perceivable neck attachments if it was.
Does it seem aberrant in nature?
Roll me an Arcana check. Potentially, it has an unsettling quality about it, and you've noticed that maybe some aberrations kind of like have that type of quality, but also like just in general, creatures of the sea that are they're just weird, yeah. So like it might be something that's a little bit touched, maybe some mutation, maybe some arcane alterations, or it might just be a weird sea critter.
Squitter. It's a baby aboleth.
A sea quitter.
That's kind of what I figured it was.
So you make your way into the room, and as you do, a couple things happen. First, Balrin and some of the others do kind of like come. They don't just like disperse. They kind of like group up at the mouth of this chamber.
Yeah, as expected.
Second,
You don't want it to just
Ezra kind of
kill
shifts
everyone.
further in so he's not as close to the door.
Second, another 2 elite warriors show up from the northwest where you guys were,
Told you
They're
they were
behind
more
us.
behind you,
Mm.
as does a large group of Quaggoth that come tromping into the large cavern.
Hey, the boys are back.
They are members of the Ezrah murder force.
Should be like,
So
they were
it's-
slacking off. They didn't finish their route. They just
It
went back.
suddenly gets
Yeah, rat 'em out.
really, really crowded in the cavern behind you.
Fine.
Surely it
All right,
can't be as
all right.
bad
We
as
got a
the
choke.
last time.
We got a choke point. It's all right.
Yep. As this kind of happens, it happens after you guys filter into the cavern and take in your surroundings. But there's a moment, right, of silence, nobody talks or anything like that. This mage and this priestess just stand there, kind of looking past you as these elite warriors move kind of like into position, and then everyone else kind of like fills up that chamber behind you, and it's an obvious display of strength, or it's a show of strength as far as they're concerned, right? And the priestess and the mage kind of just turn, nod at each other, and then the mage begins to speak. Says, "We had discussed the idea of your compensation." It walks over. She walks over to the large chest and takes a moment. You can't see what she's doing in front of her, but after a moment, there's a click, and the lid of the chest opens. Right. And then the drow kind of scoops a handful, and you hear coins kind of clattering around. And then she kind of like shifts so you can see, and she just sprinkles a handful of gold back down into the chest, basically. She says, "We have plenty of coin, other valuable objects, compensate you with for your endeavors."
Well,
Okay. Do we want to discuss specifics or?
She kind of rolls her eyes at you almost a little bit.
Sorry, I'm a business cat, and I prefer contracts.
The sum of 1,000 gold found to you, business cat.
For the elimination of which group?
Either party.
Double for both?
You see the mage kind of hesitate and look over at the priestess, and the priestess seems bored.
Just gotta get back to whipping.
Yep. If I'm not hurting somebody, I'm not living.
And the mage nods and says, double for both would be amenable.
I'm also willing to accept payment in the form of magic items.
Kind of like curls her lip at you a little bit when you say that.
I mean, either or, not both. Calm down.
It's so combative.
I believe gold will suffice for you.
Fair enough. I look at everybody. 1,000 each. 1,000 each group. 1,000 each group. 1,000 each group.
Sounds good. We have struck an accord.
As proof, the Aboleth's beak, or the head of the Kuatoa archpriest.
Okay, so do you just want to see the beak, or do you want to keep it?
This is actually important for him.
I like to exercise what I call scavenger's rights.
You see the mage like hesitate for a moment, and there's this flit across her face.
Oh my
This is
God,
like these emotions as she's thinking about it, and her immediate reaction seems of like one of like just disregard, and then it occurs to her that she might be depriving someone of something that they want, and so instinctively you see this kind of like
She's like, oh yeah, I want to do that.
sadistic
Damn,
side kind of like
you want
flash
something?
across her face where she's like, and then in Elvish, in a very like archaic, yes, in a very like archaic, brutal form that you're not really accustomed to, the priestess basically
Is Drow
says,
Elvish like German? Like German
it's like,
in Elvish?
it's I imagine, well, you know, to each their own, but I imagine the different dialects of Elven being quite distinct. You can still understand them, but it's strange to hear. And the way they talk and the terminology that they use is exceedingly different. The priestess basically says, in a very quiet, thin tone, I grow tired of this farce. In Elvish. And the mage immediately says, you can keep the beak. We only require it as proof.
Alright, I'm good with that. Sounds good. We can obviously traverse your land, right?
Announce yourselves, your presence. This cavern, the cavern to the north of here, and the caverns both west and south.
Is there a token that we need to prove our alliance in this matter?
Word will be sent to any who are not here.
Thank you.
If we have no other matters to discuss, My mistress has other important business to attend.
Okay. Sounds
Very well.
good. See you later. Hey guys.
The
Hey guys, what's up?
they don't part. Like the crowd of drow blocking the tunnel does not move. As you
walk
approach.
up the wall and then walk over them.
But it's not like a confrontation, right? Like they visibly hold for a moment. They don't just immediately move out of your way. And then the mage claps, and they part.
All right.
Well, Matt,
Catch y'all later.
Bye, Felicia.
bye.
We want to go south? They said we could go south.
Yeah, they did say we could go south. Do you want to go south?
I don't know. What do we think is south?
I don't know. Kuatoa?
Oh, did they say which direction the Kuatoa were?
Not
Shit.
really.
They didn't give you really any information.
All right, let's go south. We cut through the Quaggoth. We go south.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What's up, boys?
Jesus, pardon me. What's up? How's it going?
All
Pardon.
right, so you guys head your way through this cave. It narrows at the bottom, and then you find yourself briefly in a tunnel heading back towards the south. You're kind of followed a ways, right? Like the Quaggoth come kind of like falling behind you. A good portion of the drow kind of like escort you out of the cavern, right? Get the opportunity to just like stab Ezra in the back finally. So you make your way out of that big cavern. They don't follow you further, but as you come to this point, a couple things. So as you approach this point, you come out of this little tunnel, you begin to hear a sound. You hear
One sound. Glory.
You hear the sound of dozens, if not hundreds, of flapping, high-pitched screeching noises. Okay? And as you kind of like peek out into this area, you see to the northwest of you, you see a deep crevasse, about 20 feet wide or so. And it's spanned by the rotting trunk of a tree. It looks like one of those big mushroom trees, right? The sound of bats is really, really loud here. Almost like it kind of echoes through this area. And then you see to the south, there's a narrow tunnel that leads almost due south, and then a wider tunnel that heads east. The walls here are about halfway covered with that green slime. Aw, thanks for the sub, Zach.
I didn't know you had a sub button. I just was pressing buttons.
You just press button.
I didn't think it would work if I'm honest with you, so I just pressed it to see. It didn't cost me anything, so
I mean,
whatever.
it's a prime, yeah. Hey, absolutely. I'll take your prime. So, what do you want to do?
7.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like, we were planning on dealing with the Aboleth anyways, so that's convenient.
I can't believe they're in the past to do it.
They seem pretty okay with the fact that we slew a lot of their kind.
Well, I mean, they did mention that it kind of helped them.
Right. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm not used to them being amicable especially after what we did, that seems out of character. From at least what I've come to know Drow for.
Yeah, I really thought we were gonna kill all of them.
Well, I think it's important not to stereotype. So maybe these are different. They got different views. So,
I mean, sure.
Maybe
Yes.
we should talk about this, when we're not within earshot.
They probably thought they were gonna kill us too.
He says as it's just like,
he feels a heavy breath on his neck.
I mean, I have elvish ears.
What do you
Yeah.
hear with your elvish ears?
Well,
What's this? What's this rope thing?
Now,
Okay.
to the Kuatoa thing, though, I would like to get a little lay of the land when it comes to them before we just start murdering them.
that's a tree trunk, Bones.
Looks like a rope.
It's a tree trunk going across the crevice, and as you approach the actual edge of the crevice, you see that, in fact, a look over the edge here shows you about a 40-foot drop and a half a dozen or so dark ledges, more than one of which show signs of habitation. Of the seemingly hundreds of bats making the ruckus around you, you find almost no signs except for a bunch of guano.
Gross.
That is gross.
But it is incredibly loud here. It's almost deafening at the crevasse with the sound of bats. I would turn it on, but it gets it very quickly.
Okay.
All right, so,
cool.
Where
I
are we
did-
going?
I have no idea. I don't know what's up there. I don't know what's down there. We're really in a bad spot, exploring wise.
You guys are kind of doing this like, let's just go around the outside ring of the map thing. Except not really, because you missed several outside rings of the map.
That tracks.
You're right. We should just keep going south.
Go wherever you want. South?
What?
Okay. The Bones
I go
is
right
heading
here,
towards
but
the southeast.
I stop because I see something I don't think I'm supposed to see.
Oh, you see. So as you guys come, so you decide let's try to head kind of southeast, right? So you head towards this opening, and as you get there, right, the tunnel here bells out into an immense cave, just very, very big, filled with a veritable forest of massive tree-like mushrooms growing up from the guano and moss-covered floor. Some of the largest standing well over 40 feet tall. Here and there, between the towering fungi, lie a few toppled mushrooms, as well as several stumps. And you can see in the center of this area is a very large slug-like creature with tentacles. That seems to be hunkered over something and is making these sickening sucking sounds.
Damn, I love sucking sounds.
Bet you do.
Alright, I enter the night.
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, are you actually like stealthing?
Yes,
Stealth me up, boy.
that's what I enter the night means.
I'm waiting back here.
Okay. All right. The creature does not seem to notice your presence, Bones.
The creature. God, this giant centipede. It's so disgusting.
You can see kind of over its hulking form, or under its hulking form. It looks to be like it's on top of a dead dwarf, maybe?
Okay.
It's hard to see. The creature is covering the majority of the body, but it's clearly hunkered over some sort of humanoid body.
I just want to try and go around the edge real fast. I just like, this is as far as I want to go. I just want to see if there's anything else in this
So
cave.
this place is, keep in mind, this place is, it's hard to imagine sometimes, but this place is
it's all
filled with
fertile.
mushrooms and greenery and literally like big ass tree mushrooms all over the place, right? It's like you've walked into a forest all of a sudden. Okay? And the further northeast you go, the thicker it gets. It actually turns into difficult terrain up here. But you do skirt far enough away from the creature that it still doesn't seem to notice your presence. And as you kind of like, you get a different angle on it, you can definitely tell that the body is of a dwarf, but they've got ashen gray skin. They're a dwargar.
How'd I go back?
Okay.
Be like, it's a big worm thing. It's eating a dwargar. I don't see anything else.
All right. Well,
Centipede, centiworm, wormipede. It's a wormipede.
see what we got. I don't see why we got to interrupt. this
Pretty
meal
gross.
If there's nothing else, there's no way through over there.
Oh no, yeah, it's a really like giant cavern. There's
Yeah,
lots of ways.
he's saying he didn't see any other like creatures. There's a lot of other space to explore.
All
We should
right,
definitely
well,
kill it. Let's kill it.
All right, let's take down and pull up my bow.
Or I don't know, see if it attacks us. Ashes, go first.
You really think that there's a chance this thing's not going to be hostile?
Do you want to throw a water skin?
It turns. Please don't kill me.
Oh no! Arigato, senpai desu!
Wow.
Ohayou gozaimasu! Domo!
Jimmy, I need that to happen.
Ohayou gozaimasu!
Wow. Okie dokie then.
My name Worm-chan desu.
Righto. So,
Okay,
I go back down here.
Okay.
Did you want to throw a water skin, Ashes? I'll give you a water skin.
I mean, look, either I'm gonna step out there, he's gonna turn and attack, or you're gonna throw a water ball out there and he's gonna turn and attack. I don't.
No, you can
think...
throw it. I want you to be the
All right.
the epicenter of its ire.
I feel okay killing this thing. I pull out a bow and I fucking get ready to launch a couple shots at it.
All right,
Okay.
I'm.
Senpai!
Ashes
sneak in.
Ashes steps forward, right? And Ashes is not. Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just walking in?
I'm gonna try to be stealthy, I guess.
Okay, well, roll a stealth check.
Stealth check at normal,
Yep, and one.
because my
Your hood somehow stops your
it doesn't
armor
matter.
from clinking.
So,
Yeah, that
still
tracks.
not great. The creature does notice your presence, does notice you approach, right? And as you approach, it kind of like it turns and it lets out this kind of, you see this horrible like jagged maw, right? And it's all these little tentacle feelers around it, and it goes, and it kind of like turns and slowly like moves his body, and it like you see has these little tentacles that it kind of like puts around this dwargar body, and it starts to drag it and the body slightly back and away from you, and it basically just like hisses as it like drags its meal further from you.
Oh, okay. Apparently it just wants to eat. It's got like food envy.
All right, I scoot forward. All right, back, you beast, back.
Papa, do you
I
know
will
me?
say, wild animals once cornered will usually go the opposite direction. So
I mean, I don't see a corner. Do you see a corner?
there's going to be one eventually.
I didn't see a corner when I was here before.
So the creature kind of like drags this dead Dwargar through the muck, through the loamy soil, past two stumps and over to like one side of the cavern, still like staring at ashes, hissing, tentacles like flailing out. It's basically like bowed up, right? Like, no, this is mine. This is my meal. No, right?
Okay, it's bowed up.
All right, it's bowed up.
Is there?
Oh, look at that, a corner.
So Matashtai kind of comes in, right? And Matashtai is carrying his light. And the creature kind of like shrinks back, and its eyes dart away. It's got these weird kind of like glassy, almost like ovals for eyes. And it's clear that the brighter light it's not used to. It kind of like doesn't appreciate it necessarily, but it starts to now hiss pretty vehemently in Matashtai's direction and starts to kind of like drag the body away from Matashtai.
Yeah, don't eat it. That's his.
I'm not gonna eat it, God. Okay,
Alright.
you guys want to go up or you want to go down?
I mean,
I is there a way out? I don't. Oh, there is a way out down. We can go down.
Okay,
I don't see a reason
so
to kill it if it's not like gonna try and kill us.
Yeah, I'm not like super interested in murdering it for no reason.
so
It doesn't
Bones,
look particularly strong.
you head down south just a little ways, and you can see there is a tunnel that heads southwards out of this cave. You can head that direction if you want to explore, or alternatively, you could keep going northeast in the big forest cave.
I go down this way.
Okay. So as you head this way, the walls here are almost completely slick green.
enjoy your meal, buddy.
Oh yeah, good green. That's what I love. All right, calm down. Jesus Christ, you could have just been a nice, freaking
No, we gotta be that
guy.
way.
Well, could have been like a weeb centipede, but nope, gotta be hissing.
Yeah, weeb centipede would have been
What you
cooler.
don't know is actually all of that was Ohio gozaimasu. It's just in
Yeah,
carrion
in its
crawler.
language.
I'll leave.
Let me slowly back away from you.
Can I clip through these walls? I wonder.
Stop trying to clip through the walls.
I'd like to try though.
No,
Well,
Bad.
I'm almost in this one.
quit it.
Yeah, I was in it, but I can't clip through it.
Damn. Okay.
Do I need to delete you both? Am I
I
gonna have to
prefer
just like
not.
start
Wow.
using a group token and move you guys around manually?
Party face. makes a
Oh,
return.
you'll do that? Let's do that. Hell yeah.
You are so lazy.
He is like the laziest.
You are so lazy. I could just let Mitch move his token around, and then every time we fight, just transplant Bones' your token in.
Agreed. Let's do that.
He gets a -10 to initiative due to this, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Very fair.
Oh,
Very fair.
if Ezra doesn't get -2 initiative, there's no way I should.
I mean, being
Well,
behind
Ezra's-
isn't the same as not wanting to move your token.
Fine,
it's
Ezra gets a
tedious.
-2. You get a -12.
His minus is having to use twice his movement to get into the battle to begin with.
So tedious. I go around the corner.
Zach would probably still roll a higher initiative with a -10.
That is absolutely true. So you wind your way through this tunnel. It curves eastward and then it hooks back south, southwest. It begins to bell out the further that you go. But what stays true is this horribly slick, kind of foul-smelling green algae on the walls. It's almost kind of like ooze.
The secret of the ooze.
Okay. So Bones, you head out into another cave. Let's see what this one has. A rotting stench fills this cavern, and the slime-coated floor slopes downward towards the sound of a burbling river.
Yummers.
It's a river. Time to make Mitch pee again.
Again?
Yep. Just went, so
Yep.
we're ready.
We're ready.
We got a good 20 minutes before he has to go again.
Mhm.
It is catheter right now. Just went.
So, lying in the slime here are the putrid corpses of what look to be like 3 fish folk and 4 reptile folk. And then you can see to the northwest a passageway. To the very south, past the corpses, you can see southwest a passageway and south-south a passageway.
Okay.
Keep going
That
south.
just looks like some bullshit. I'll not go up there.
Yeah, you look up there real quick and you can see a small cavern with stalactites. All right, so before you guys jet off, as you kind of like cross close to the corpses, right? So there are basically like these dead fish folk and lizard men here.
I
Right?
forgot
Yeah,
those
thank
listed.
you. Like just little marks or something helped me because like you said that, but my brain immediately forgot it.
I
when
normally
started
try to
thinking
like
other
the
things.
the module doesn't put in anything that is dead in
Yeah.
the description. I normally try to put in dead bodies, right? Just like
we should
tokens
get you like
with
a
X's.
we should get you a little skeleton token to just drop in.
I normally try to do that. I just missed it on this one. To the south, you can hear and actually see, Bones. You can see a river. You hear the sound of the river, and you can actually see the tunnel before you slopes downwards and downwards until it gets to the edge of a river, and then eastward or westward, right? You can see the tunnel continues that direction.
Let's
Okay, well,
in a
the-
little bit.
The aboleth is supposed to definitely be in the river. Do we want to risk encountering it?
Was the river down your way or?
It's I don't know which direction is the river.
So, Bones, you can see the river south of you through this tunnel.
Shit, I don't want to go there then. I want to go this way.
Okay. So, you guys move past the corpses and to this wider western tunnel.
How old are the corpses? Like how dead?
They're rotting. They're putrid and disgusting and rotting.
So one day,
Well, I mean, if you want like specifics, you could try to make like a medicine check or
Yeah,
something like that.
I'd like to make a check on it because I want to know how long they've been dead.
Cause?
Yeah, and actually, if I see any wounds on them, what might have killed them?
Okay. So from a 17, they are covered in obvious wounds. The fish folk seem to be covered in sharp claw lacerations that match the claws of the lizard folk. The lizard folk seem to be covered in puncture wounds and slash marks that are indicative of weaponry, though very mundane weaponry.
Which the fish people would likely be using.
Well, you don't see any weapons laying about the corpses or anything like that, but it does seem as though these
whatever won
corpses...
this battle looted.
Yeah, it seems as if these corpses have been tossed, basically.
Okay. Okay.
And as far as age, several days at least. At least.
Can I look around? Because you said it was kind of loamy, right? As far as,
So
like, round.
so this all of the really like fungal areas are very loamy, but this area is actually like all of the uneven floor areas. Those are more like hard stone areas, and this one is pretty much rock, except it's covered in thick green slime. It's actually a little slick moving about here, especially since it's kind of a slope down towards the river, and it's covered in this green algae. You find yourself having to actually watch your footing a little bit here or there, as every once in a while, when you're not paying attention, you'll kind of slip just a tad.
I'm gonna look back at the way we came in. Do we leave decent tracks?
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yes.
You kind of leave little slick tracks through the green slime.
Okay. Knowing that, can I try and look around in the slime to see if I can figure out where maybe this group of things came from? Which direction?
Sure. So you look around and actually don't see any other tracks. Not just like they're really old tracks, but you don't see any other tracks through the green slime.
Okay. We haven't seen slime anywhere else yet, right?
Well, you've been seeing the patches on the walls, right?
Okay.
This is the thickest that you have seen it, and you're 30 feet away from the river.
Okay.
What if we're just
Hey,
like,
Ezra. Hey, Ezra. Aboleth known for being slimy? I think he's got headphones on, so I'm gonna trust that he heard me.
well, I mean,
Is the slime, does it... Trying to think how to word what... Because I doubt I would have... Well, I would have done investigation into Aboleth with the fucking stupid screaming stone thing.
Yeah, you did some minor investigations into it. Roll me a history check real quick.
Well, I can't think. The Stone of Golor. There we go. I got
Stone of
it.
Golor.
Gentleman.
Well, he was until he started screaming for dear life, and then you abandoned him. Ugh. Either you're just maybe you're a little skeeved out by the scenario. Things are a little tense. You just got done with the drow. You're a little worried about things potentially, or maybe you honestly haven't stumbled upon that information yet. Or in your studies, but right now you're not recalling anything that actually links the two.
Damn, the boy rolls in that one.
Yeah. The only other thing, do I feel... It doesn't look like these creatures are the origination of the slime.
It
Based
doesn't
on-
seem like it. In fact, like the slime actually is up and over parts of the creatures.
so what you're
Does it get, can we see where the origination is? If it is in itself a track?
The origination of...
The slime.
Oh, no, the slime is everywhere. It coats the floors and the walls here. It is thicker the closer you get to the water.
Okay.
Noticeably thicker.
ending it
Not like an algae or...
I mean, that's exactly what it looks like, is a slimy, stinky algae.
I look at Matt and I go,
All right. Fair enough. Well, I think it's something to glean from here. Let's move on.
Okay, so you begin to head towards the western tunnel. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. Bones and Matashtai step forward. As they step forward, as they begin to move down the western tunnel, you all hear a voice in your mind say, "Stop!" And crawling up out of the water is a monstrous creature that pulls its prodigious bulk up and onto the shore. This disgusting multi-tentacled creature with a circular maw and a column of eyes draws itself up before you. Green slime coats its large rubbery hide and fins. You see in front of you, let me actually give you a click real
Goddamn
fast.
river. We went to the wrong river.
You see this, and that is where we are going to take our break. When we come back, we will see how the party handles an aboleth coming out of the river at them. So,
I shoot it in its eye.
That doesn't have eyes.
Yes, it does. I clearly see eyes.
it has a column of eyes.
Yep.
So we will
so
be
fuck
back
you, Zach.
in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
And when we do, we will see how this situation resolves itself. Bye, everybody.
Bye.